You're listening to the smartest guys in marketing, the best show on the planet for client businesses to learn about traffic, funnels, sales, conversions, and marketing coolness. Chris and Taylor are the founders of Traffic and Funnels, a digital marketing consultancy helping you get paid clients from cold traffic daily. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smartest Guys in Marketing podcast. Here with your host, Chris Evans and Taylor Welch. Taylor, how are you, my friend?
Ooh, I'm doing so good.
Lindsay's out of town, and I'm just a little bit worried about you.
I've been eating rice and canned beans.
Just been like eating raw fish out of that pond in your neighborhood, like Gollum.
Ate some coffee beans for breakfast. Now, my wife I'm so proud of her because she's awesome, but she flew to Florida. She's doing like a bunch of training seminars for salons down in Florida. And so she's having a great time. She's texting me pictures of the 80-degree weather and the palm trees. And it's literally suffocatingly gross in Nashville right now. It's just raining and the ground, when it's been raining for like 3 days and the ground is like quicksand and you just start sinking into it.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of like where we're at right now.
But it's perfectly sunny in Charlotte right now. Perfect.
On
72
that note,
degrees. I'm just kidding.
You know what I've been thinking of lately?
Me?
This is just, I always think about you, but that's what I've been thinking about lately. We're going to talk about something really pertinent today. We're going to talk about Facebook and the Facebook Armageddon that is happening. But dude, here's what I've been thinking about. The past couple of days, I've gotten up. It's been rainy. It's been nasty. The devil's been trying to kill me with this weather. I got sick last week in Utah. Yep. You went snowmobiling without me. I mean, the whole world has been taking shots at the crown the last 2 weeks. That's how it feels. But you know what, dude? How freaking amazing is it? This is what we don't think about enough. We don't talk about enough. Nobody does this enough. Dude, we can create our own lives. I'm just so thankful for that. Like, we're showing up. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're like, hey, how can we add value to our audience, to our crew? Who gets to do that? I remember showing up every day to a job that I hated, filling in paper brochure boxes every morning at 7 o'clock, wiping the table off for our closing table with Windex, making a pot of coffee for $11 an hour. We forget where we came from way too often. That's my reckoning.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Well, even in the office that I rent here, we have a Regis. You rent from one in Franklin. I rent from one here in Charlotte. Yours is nicer than mine. I will admit that.
Mine, they just raised my price to $2,200 a month, and yours is like $50 a month.
I just never split the difference.
Whatever. Anyways, yeah.
So just looking at people here that they look miserable because they're working jobs.
Yeah.
And they're like, I know they're wondering, like, who's this dude that wears jeans, flip-flops, and a hat? He has the biggest office with a big-ass couch and a nice leather chair.
With me, they're like, who's that guy that's wearing those USA shorts that cut off mid-thigh? How does he afford all this? I'm like,
and why is he violating us?
Wow.
No, we're grateful, though. And
so
here's the deal. We have massive problems. I'd say bigger problems than what those people have.
Yeah.
Because a lot rides on the decisions that we make. We have 15 people on our team, and they depend on us making the correct decisions so we don't screw things up in the business, so they continue to have employment, jobs, paychecks. And that kind of leads into the topic that a lot of people are talking about right now that we should talk about, and how we are dealing with the rising CPMs of Facebook. It is no mystery.
What if somebody doesn't know what a CPM is?
Well, they can Google it.
Well,
I imagine since we are the smartest guys in marketing, all of our listeners are the smartest listeners in marketing.
Is it kind of like a VHS? That's just the only other three-letter I can think of.
All right, so a CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions, essentially. That's how much people are paying.
Yeah.
To get 1,000 views, 1,000 impressions.
Yeah, so Facebook has changed the way that their algorithms work. They're wanting to decrease the amount of time people spend on the platform, which means inventory goes down. And how many of you know when supply goes down, the demand goes up and the price goes up with it. And we've been waiting for this to happen for a long, long, long time. It's like a dream come true for us. And that's how you need to look at it. If you're actually an expert and you're good at what you do, then we were long overdue for something to kick the idiots off of the platform. Like, I'll just be the one to say it. I have been praying for a correction because I'm so sick of the morons just putting and making money, and it's not fair. It's not fair. So we've been waiting for this a while, and it's finally happened. And we're going to tell you how to get around it and thrive in it.
Yeah,
that was a good intro, bro.
Well, we could just probably stop the podcast there, and I think everybody would just have all the value they need.
See you guys next week. Yeah.
Yeah, so in just a sec, we're going to break down 2 strategic and 2 tactical things that you guys can do. But just on that point, that's I think a really viable and important point that you made. It's really interesting that many people who follow us, if they're not in the inner circle, that's actually the name of our mastermind. Everybody has the inner circle. We have the inner circle.
That is not the name of our mastermind.
I just lied. But if they're not like really close to us and day to day in business with us, many times they fret because everybody out there, they're chattering about the rising CPMs. Oh my God, what's the inventory? They're all like this. If you guys aren't seeing this on video, you're really missing out. But here's the deal. These problems are fantastic because if you're a creator, if you're an innovator, if you're a true blue marketer, you want these problems because just like Taylor said, it's going to push the other people off the platform. The people who come in and they just copy our ads instead of actually creating their own. If they just copy our methods and tactics, right? Those things do not last for eternity. And because of situations and issues like this, where Facebook is, quote, wanting people to spend less time, which I think is just BS. But because they're saying that and there is less inventory, it's creating a really tactical problem to where, okay, there's things that you come up with now, it could be new tactical solutions, but you also have to look at the strategic side of it as well. And if you are seeking to grow and become an innovator, that's where you're going to have long-term sustainability. Whenever these issues come up, because I guarantee this is not going to be the last time it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Where you're going to have to think your way through and around the problem.
I think that they've said that they want people to spend less time, but really I think they're backpedaling because there were so many advertisements and so many sponsored posts and so much clutter that people were actually spending less time because they were getting sick of the platform. And what they're doing is they're decreasing all of that, saying that they want people to spend less time, knowing that as the quality of the platform goes back up, people will come back to the platform. So I think we almost might have the opportunity to go back to some of the early days of Facebook, where even though our costs are going to get more expensive, I think that the value of that money is going to be higher as well.
Yeah. The reason to back that up is because Facebook is a public company, right? The more people that spend time, that's what makes their shareholders happy. So,
yep.
All right, you ready?
You want to dive into these?
Let's do it.
All right, let's hit 4 quick things. I'll hit the first 2 because I don't know anything about Facebook. So Chris gave me 2 of the easy ones to talk about.
Bro, you know more than you proclaim.
When Chris found me, I was spending like $97 per lead on one of my campaigns.
And he was like, "Do you think you could help me?" I was like, "Yeah, I think so."
And Chris was like, "Do you think you could help me with your funnel?" And I was like, "I don't know. Let me look." And it was like a campaign with 1 email in it. I was like, "Yeah, I think I can help you with that."
Possibly.
And the magic was born. All right. So number 1,
we gave birth.
This is. Oh man, I'm really sorry that you're hearing this. This is philosophical. This is strategy. I think Chris can get into some tactical stuff. But number 1 is you have to pivot into investing in your audience and creating fans. And in parentheses here, I've got service. Direct response marketers. If you follow us, you're probably, somewhat direct response. But direct response is basically you only do things that you can track back to a sale, right?
Yep.
And it's very cool. It's a very cool type of marketing. But the reality is when you get into a platform like Facebook, you got to understand, doesn't really like direct response. They're not interested in just allowing a bunch of direct response marketers to come in and take their people and take their money. And so step number one to making sure you stay relevant with the Facebook platform, thriving with the Facebook platform, and you don't get shut down is investing into your audience. What does your audience want? What do they need from you? How can you create raving fans through service? And you see us doing this. In fact, we started doing this probably about 8 months ago with the types of content that we started putting out. And even in like last month and the month before, there is a lot of investment happening with we're not requiring any exchange of money. We're just saying, hey, this might be helpful to you and we want to invest into you first before you ever invest into us.
Yes.
Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'd say, just going on the tail end of what you were talking about with last month, we did 3 or 4?
4.
I think they're about an hour and a half long sessions, lives.
Yeah.
And so understanding Facebook and the platform, that is extremely valuable. One, you have to look at who Facebook's biggest competitor is. It's YouTube. And so they are very, very hungry to get into the game of video. And so if they have creators who are actually giving value to where someone's coming to the platform, they're getting a massive exchange and download of value, what's Facebook going to do? They're going to give you some love, right? So live stream is massive right now. It's their way to basically take from YouTube. And so with you going and giving that tremendous value via a live stream video, you're going to get a lot more impressions, a lot more engagement. Your fans, friends are going to see that. And so there's going to be a ripple effect, and it's going to be massive. And the thing about that is, and we're talking specifically about our fan page. We hosted this on the Traffic and Funnels fan page. You can go back and search through and find it there. But now that we have this asset on the fan page, we can put money behind it. So, if we run this live stream, and those we had several thousand views on each one, hundreds of comments before we put any money behind it.
Yeah.
Right? So I want you guys to pay attention to that. Now that we know that, man, this audience loves what we're putting to market, it was just straight up content. There was no call to action. Then, we can put money behind it. And that's where it gets like super, super sexy and powerful.
Yeah. So there was no call to action. That's the big thing here is it was literally just, hey, let's talk about this. And we don't need anything from you in return. And I think some people, if you're listening, you're thinking, you're like, yeah, dudes, this is like content marketing 101. Like, what are you, children? Where have you been the last 10 years? Blah, blah, blah. Remember, we're talking about direct response. Like last month, based on our revenues, our hourly rate was $5,580 an hour, a freaking hour. That means we basically invested about 28 grand to spend 5 hours doing training. This is a little bit of a pivot away from direct response because we didn't ask anything in return. We can't really track any revenue that comes from that. It's just an investment, nothing needed in return. Let's add to our audience.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, we talked about this. I think it was in the August memos. And so if you are a memo subscriber, you've already heard this. If you're not a memo subscriber, you've got about a 6-month lag time. So you should just get on the memos so you get it when it's fresh. It's trafficandfunnels.com/memos. Blatant plug.
Get the back issues.
The dog. Anyways.
Is that your dream dog?
A pug. I want a bioengineered pug that is actually 10 times larger than the normal size. I want like a 600-pound pug.
I bet Elon can make that happen.
We'll work on that. Here's the second thing. Do the things that your competitors are not willing or easily able to do.
Ooh.
So we identified this in the middle. We said, hey, basically look at competitors that you have. Scope out the market. Scope out the fields. Where are they not investing time? Where are they not investing money? Where are they maybe uncomfortable or unwilling to go? And then go there as fast and as often as you can. We talked about this with like Jeff Bezos, like when Jeff Bezos is creating Amazon Web Services, when he was creating Prime, these companies, Amazon in particular, but all companies that grow quickly, they do things that are not even profitable just to force their competitors out into the uncharted waters and watch them drown. And so we started doing this with video. Well, guess what? All our competitors are doing video. We started doing this with memos. Guess what? We're the first in this marketing game in our specific industry to use something like the memos. And we're just basically giving all of our stuff to people for free, pretty much. Doesn't make any sense. It's not a profit center. What are we doing? We're basically saying, hey, this is going to be really tough for a competitor to do. Let's just go ahead and do this. Let's just do it good and often.
Let's do it real good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The good news is people are super lazy and they're going to do the least amount possible to get the highest exchange of money.
Yes.
So go and look what they're doing, and they're probably not doing that much.
Yes.
But for us, like we're freaking all in. So, we go check out our ads now. Dude, how many times have our static ads, and static ad is just an image with copy. How many times have they been ripped off?
All the time, dude.
Right, but
someone can't every week.
Yeah, someone can't rip off our video ads with us on the video screaming like maniacs.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to replicate that.
Yep.
Like we literally light things on fire and stuff. So, boom, boom. Anything else on that, bro?
I accidentally muted myself, and then I couldn't figure out how to unmute it. So
I got worried. I got worried about you.
I kind of lost my my train of thought because the button was blinking, and it was bad.
That's all right, man. I got you. We'll move on to number 3.
Okay.
So this is a tactical solution. A lot of people are worried about their audiences on Facebook. Too small, too big, how many? Should I run to 100,000? Should I run to 1 million? What we're seeing is the broader the audience, the less the CPM. The broader the audience, the less the CPM you pay. So here's how you get to that level. You might initially pay for, pay a higher CPM for Facebook to figure out who your audience is. Okay. So let's say if you're running a webinar ad, webinar funnel, maybe you're running a lookalike audience based on your email list or people who are landing on that thank you page. When you get that to 500 to 1,000 people, then you can start going broader and broader and broader. A 1% lookalike, a 2% lookalike, eventually to maybe a 10%, to where you're just wide open. Like the Facebook algorithm is so well learned about who your audience is that you essentially can just go wide open, have hardly any parameters for Facebook, and just based on who is landing on your thank you page, Facebook is going to find the right people for you, and your CPM is going to be lower. And what we've seen is the more parameters that you put on your targeting, typically the higher your CPMs are going to be, which it's a domino effect. The higher your CPLs are going to be, which is cost per lead. So as quick as you can, get to broader audiences. The other thing about that too is international.
Is it?
International.
Can I just ask a question real fast?
Yeah.
Isn't this opposite of what most people are training people to do?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
We're just giving the goodies. We're just giving the goodies over here.
Carry on. Good, sir.
All right. Number 4 is lower the barrier to entry. Lower the barrier to entry. So what does that mean? A lot of people are really heavy on maybe running a webinar funnel. We love webinars. We've run webinars, it's built our business. But our CPLs are lower when we run just a download, right? Because it's easily consumable. There's really not much time that they have to commit to. And so what I would even recommend is maybe running that before you run a webinar so that you can build up that audience, build up the people who land on that thank you page so that you can go broader, so you can hit that third bullet that we just talked about. Yeah, the other thing about that too is if you guys aren't on the memos, we talked about this in January. It was basically like how to do 20K via hyper organic. Powerful memo. But we talk about this in just a bit in that memo where video is a great low barrier to entry. So let's say you have a very, very small budget. You can't go out and spend $100,000 like we do in a month. Start doing live streams. Even if you don't have a download yet, even if you don't have a webinar yet, get on your fan page, start doing live streams. And the people who are consuming 75% of that is a great audience to start building momentum from, right? Because if they're watching 75%, that's probably your people.
So
it's a great place to start.
Here's what's interesting in what you're saying is you're basically, and I don't know how I feel about this, bro, but you're basically telling people to do stuff.
It is work.
Yeah. I
apologize for. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I agree with that 100%. Here's the thing, dude. You're just like, when you just go out into the market and you provide value and you do it the right way and you have no strings attached, things just kind of work for you. You know, I think one of the biggest problems with this space right now is it's like, man, what if everybody that tried to be your friend wanted something in return? You would feel that and it would just get icky. Like, I can tell when someone's like, hey, man, we should get coffee. I'm like, dude, you don't care about me at all. Like, you just want to pick my brain about business stuff. I'm sure this happens to you too. You can feel it. And it's the same. People can feel it online too. And so I think that people just have to literally like just settle down and chill out and go add value to somebody and don't expect anything in return. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to have the business fundamentals set up and have the business acumen to be able to make a living from your expertise. And that's all stuff that we teach. And if there's no easier way to get into that than the memos, but you know, with our clients, like we make sure everything's set up correctly. But still, if you're going to go out and add value, you can't be doing like, well, Chris told me to do a Facebook Live, so I'm going to do a Facebook Live every day for 3 days. And if nobody gives me money, I'm going to stop. Well, you just lost. Like, you lost before you even started.
Yeah. Because
the point has become now about you and yourself, not about your market and offering value. And the way to beat everyone else is to genuinely care about the market.
Yes, 100%. It's that feeling when you get when someone with a branded shirt knocks on your door. You're like, who? Unless it's the pizza guy, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this? That's the same feeling people get when they see you just jumping down their throat, or leg humping, as we tell our clients.
We call it leg humping. Yeah. And if you're listening to this and you're a girl, girls do it just as much as the boys. Okay. So
if not more,
don't count yourself out.
Yeah.
Yes. We have some powerful female entrepreneurs who are like turning the world upside down in upper echelon. Like Tasha and Sarah and Cheryl Ann. It's amazing. We need more of that, I think, to be honest. I can see you're trying to wrap this episode up, and I just want it to last as long as possible.
I just want you to be happy.
Do you guys, we need to know from you guys if you like this. This is a little bit of a different flow. It's more conversational. We just kind of talked about stuff. Let us know if you like this or if you like the 4-minute quickies. Give us your feedback. Don't say it. Don't even go there. I can see you. Anything else?
Look at the long game. People who win at Facebook, they play the long game.
People who win in life play the long game. Life rewards the patient.
It's like a box of chocolates.
Life rewards the patient. That's actually something we could put on a meme or something.
Or we just make it a podcast.
Yeah, you're right. We'll just do that.
Awesome. All right. Hey, go leave a review at iTunes. We probably have like 5 reviews.
We love reviews.
We love them.
We don't read them, but we just see how many we have and compare ourselves to other people.
All right. Hey, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing.
See you guys. Bye.
What's up, everybody? Chris here, and just want to take a minute and say thank you so much for listening to the Smartest Guys in Marketing podcast. We really appreciate you hanging out with us. Please go leave a review on iTunes, whether it's positive or negative. We want to hear your feedback and know what you're thinking and how we can improve. And if you know anybody that needs to hear what we're saying, please share with them. And the last thing I have to tell you today is if you haven't gotten the monthly memos, jump over there and grab it at trafficandfunnels.com/memos. Here's the deal. The monthly memos is an opportunity for us to download what's happening in our business with our clients. And that's from mindset to marketing to strategy to tactics to traffic to funnels, business operations across the board.
we are able to just break down and give to you what's happening. So our journey is to make a big impact. We want to make a massive impact on people's lives. And for us to do that, we're doing things like the monthly memos. We want you to get ahead faster and make a lot less mistakes than what we have made. And I think it's a great medium for you to do that. So jump over there, grab that. The price is ridiculously low, and we did that for a reason, just so there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to jump on there. trafficandfunnels.com/memos. And listen, again, really, really appreciate you guys.